Let's jump into today. You may have noticed that calendar events have been updated inside the Wizard Circle. Having done our expert-led build last week, we are doing a member-led build this week. This is called Member-Led Builds Live Practice. The goal here is for you guys as members to have more practice in building assistants, designing workflows, putting together instructions, and actually building out any knowledge files that you need. I will turn to the group today and take some things from everyone. Do you guys have a list, it may be small, of things that each of you want to be able to build? We'll start from there and see what comes out today, and we'll look to start building something today. So feel free, if you have anything, feel free to raise your hand or jump in.
There are a few things, because I spoke about it before. So obviously there's the testimonial creator.
Yeah.
There's something that I want to do for Toastmasters, which is a post creator to make public relations a little bit easier when it comes to social media. And I think that's the same for myself as well, to be able to create posts out of me just talking as I go. One of the real challenges I had, if I don't post in the moment's gone, and before you know it, 3 days are passing, you're like, oh, I can't really post now. So you can do rather than, and I do use AI a bit for that, but if I could have something that makes it even quicker and prompts me, I think that would be quite handy.
Okay, yeah, we could do that. I quite like that idea, because essentially what we're saying is we need a better workflow to be able to say, I've got an idea of something, and then it helps me take it to where it's polished, it's ready for socials, and it's going to go out. So what we would need to understand is, what does it need to look like, or what do we want the format or the style to be at the end? And then we just work backwards, essentially. Jackie, you had your hand raised.
Yeah, I wanted to carry on from what Gina's said, because I know we've got an amazing lady who's doing some volunteering for us for the social media. And I absolutely want to shake our social media up totally, because we've shared charities that put their profiles on the map for free, and we share them when they've updated them, and we do things like that. But it's been same old and not a huge amount of interaction. And so I'd like to create something that would help her to go, that we give it our language and voice guide and our values, and that she could just go in and go, this is in the news, or I've seen this charity that's done this, and how can we pull together a post, or how can we let companies know that they could sponsor a map? We tell the story a bit more and weave it in with the benefits of what the maps do for people and communities, and how it supports charities and things like that. So very much along the lines of what Gina's talking about, something that somebody could speak into if they want to, or type, whichever they choose to do. But then the second step of that would be, when the post is there, creating something that has our brand stuff and to do the image to go with it. So you've got step 1 and then step 2. It makes it really simple for her.
Do you ever create the image creator?
I didn't, because I was a bit behind. I wanted to redo the voice, language and brand guide and start that bit again, because I felt that you'd done some things that had updated it. I thought, oh, I can make this better. It's a typical thing of wanting it to be perfect. Oh, well, Nina's done this, and this is even better than what I've done.
Yeah, and I haven't done that.
And then I got poorly, and then it was just like, oh, I'm a bit behind. And then it was like, oh, okay, I'll start it all again in the new year, because I'll start from scratch and do it. But yeah, I think when Gina spoke just then, I was like, yeah, we need something like that as well.
Can I just add to it, because I think what you said then, to have that brand story being weaved into almost anything. I took the dog out for a walk, I did this, and to weave that background story. And just for you, Jackie, regarding images, take pictures. Even if you've got a picture of one of your maps, and stick it on there. I would say don't overthink the pictures too much. Any visual, even if it's random, doesn't really matter.
I'm autistic, and I like things to be just, we've got a little mascot, which I think we can make much better with the way that you've done things, Nina, with your bits. I see it and I just want to make it perfect. So I keep holding back.
But the path to perfection is ever evolving.
Yeah. So it sounds like each of you would like your own assistant that can help take an idea and turn it into some social posts. That may be one post, it might be like a series of posts that tells a story. You want it to capture your voice and give you the guardrail. Ultimately, you want to be able to go, here's my idea, I want to run with it, but without it's filling out because you can't get it to the end quick enough. Okay, to be honest, you could both be doing this if you want. One of you can share your screen and we'll walk it through, but we can switch between you, like, because it's quite similar. I think it might be interesting to see that contrast between the two of you. Let me, if you don't already have it to hand, I will share with you the advanced GPT builder, because we'll build out some instructions. The idea behind this is essentially what each of you are describing is a workflow. You want to be able to give it this, it's going to take you through these steps, and at the end you're going to get something that you can post that you can then use to create an image or bring in other assets into it.
Can I ask, the advanced builder, is that now taken over the other builder?
They're both the same. One of them has some concepts of advanced design patterns that I wanted to put in the program, but it might be like an overcomplication for many people that are not building anything super sophisticated. If you prefer that it's a bit easier, I can.
Because I know when I did the second one, I got confused with it, whereas the first one, I think I found I was able to do it myself.
Yeah, let me get that one in.
Gina, are you okay to share your screen? I'll tell you why. My internet, with this weather, my internet's gone down twice during the day. I'd hate to be part way through and then it go again.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I don't want to, because I don't recognise that I've done quite a lot of sharing my screen, so I don't want to. Oh, Clinton's here.
Welcome, Clinton. All right, let me share the link to the instructions builder just in the chat for everyone. Both Gina and Jaki are looking to create assistants that help take from a spark of inspiration or something that you want to post about and help you create the content that would go out. That might be a longer form story, it might be a blog, it might be just a post, but it'll all be formatted. We're going to look to build that, and I believe she's now going to share her screen.
In the same ballpark, because that's what I've been working on. Yeah.
Nice.
I've lost you. Oh, here you go. So is this the simpler one, or is this the more advanced
This is
one?
the not advanced one.
Okay, cool. Share screen.
So we can jump in and hit let's get started just in the button in the middle of the page. The idea when you start the assistant is that we want it to understand the objective of the assistant. We're going to build a workflow around content creation, and we want it to guide us through that process. Ultimately, it's a content creation assistant. Maybe it starts with a spark, an idea. Maybe, as Jaki said, you might start with a resource. It could be something that you've seen, a post that you've seen, a web page, an article that you read that sparks something. So it's going to have a starting point, and the end goal of it is to be able to publish the content, right? So whatever comes out has to be copy that is ready to go. You're just going to copy it straight out and paste it. Go ahead, Gina. Describe what you would like your assistant to be able to help you with. Dictate if you like, if you want to use your voice. I wouldn't, literally just what you said you wanted your assistant to do for me, to me, is what you got to repeat. I would use just the dictate, which is the button.
You use the voice mode.
No, the one next to it.
I would like my assistant to help me create posts in the moment. So when I have an idea or see something that has sparked some sort of inspiration, I would then like to give that to my assistant to create a post that weaves in the story of my brand and what I do, and also helps people on their own healing journey. Yeah.
Give that a go. Beautifully articulated, Gina. There we go.
So good for the ego.
The assistant helps you create meaningful, in-the-moment social posts by transforming sparks of inspiration into grounded, on-brand content that weaves your personal story, your work, and gentle guidance for others on their healing journeys.
That's so good.
I would have a read through the proposed key outcomes.
Okay.
So the first outcome, instant translation. I'm not sure if we want instant translation or whether you want it to respond and say, is this what you mean? Is this the kind of idea? Let's see how we can evolve this into a post. Or would you rather it just give you the post straight away?
If you can give me the post straight away, that feels like it can be the quickest way through it.
Yeah. This is all that we can test this, right?
Yeah, this is it. Let's see what it creates.
So 2, consistent brand and voice weaving. Each post naturally reflects your lived experience, what you do professionally, the deeper themes of healing, growth, and awareness. Audience-centric, flexible post styles in the moment. Cool. It's given some flexibility on the
Yeah.
kind of post as well, which is nice. Low friction, high trust. Cool. Okay, if this looks good.
Yeah.
It says, does the post feel accurate? Any outcomes you'd like to add? No, unless there was anything you wanted to add beyond that, I would let it continue.
Yeah, that's good.
Continue.
There's this purpose.
Cool. So the assistant now will pull straight away into this canvas, which is this kind of shared document that we're going to be able to edit together. But it started to draft the full instruction set. So if you just scroll up slightly, and we want to open up the canvas just the other way. So at the top of that document, it says edit. So if you go up a little bit more, you have to scroll a little bit. I think we've gone too far.
Sorry, my mouse is playing up now.
In the top right, there's a little page icon next to the share. You can open that. And what I tend to do now is to go through this assistant and think of it like a human to AI like interaction that we're essentially facilitating. As you read through task 1, is this what you would expect the assistant to do? It's going to invite you as the user to share what sparked the post idea. It's going to accept any input in any form. Then it's going to clarify the emotion and thematic, reflect back what feelings sensed in the user's input, offer 2 to 3 possible underlying themes, self-trust, grief, boundaries, so on.
No. I wonder if it could also, like Jaki was saying, if she'd seen a post elsewhere or an article, could we include that as well?
Yeah. So what you would want to do is share an article or something that I've seen online that could be part of the inspiration, and then it will go through and capture that nuance into that task.
Task 1, section B.
Yeah. Then hit send, and it should hopefully go and refresh that task 1 to include that idea.
Okay, I'll look at that.
Okay, perfect.
Make sure the user, the input does not.
I would also just remove the user prompt bit. It doesn't really serve any purpose.
So that's what it's suggesting. It's going to come up with what sparked this post. You can share a moment thought feeling.
Correct. And we've given it an example of how we want it to ask the question. But what that does is anchor it in asking this question all the time.
Please.
Yeah, remove them, which is good. Okay. So based on that task 1 is we would have captured what your spark is and where the post came from. So as we go into task 2, it's going to reflect back and say, is this what you meant? And these are the underlying themes of what you're talking about. You then confirm or say, yes, I think that's accurate, or no, I don't think that's right. This is actually quite a good step because what it allows you to see how the AI has interpreted what you said.
So that's all about right, isn't it?
Yeah. So then task 3, weave brand story and work. Identify where the user's lived experience or work connects organically to the theme. Weave this in context or perspective.
Yeah.
What we don't have yet, and we will get to that later, is we're going to give it some information about you, who you work with, who your clients are. We have these documents that we've been preparing. We might not be able to find them so easily, but we have prepared them at some point.
No, I've got them. Yeah.
Oh, you've got them. All right, perfect.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that now.
Not yet.
No.
Not yet. Be further down the line. But I was highlighting when you look at it, it obviously doesn't have any context about you yet.
To be honest, if I just use a normal new chat and start chatting, it knows my stuff.
Yeah, this is a different, like when you build a GPT, it doesn't reference.
Okay, that's a different one. Okay.
Yeah.
So then.
Yeah. So draft a post, create a first draft that feels authentic, grounded, supportive, write a post in a calm, human, non-performative voice. So again, as an idea, we won't change it right now, but eventually we're going to have the language and voice guidelines.
Yeah.
Write the post in whatever. It will be.
Yeah, it will be in my voice.
This document to align it with voice and so on. Use short paragraphs, natural pacing for social platforms. Okay, refine and reshape.
Can we have some emojis in there as well?
Yeah, so that's another thing is the format of how we want it to come out. The only structural instructions it gives is short paragraphs and natural pacing.
Right,
So
okay.
this is where we might say, I actually have an idea of what I want post to include. I want it to have a proper title, follow this kind of pattern, have emojis, but not too many. Whenever I was creating my building public posts, I would tell it to add emojis where the start of each new bit of discussion in the story.
Like a bullet point, effectively.
Yeah, correct. So yeah, you can tell that to number in task 4.
So in task 4, can we ensure that we use emojis, not too many, but if there are any obvious ones that would enhance the post, please include them.
Also maybe hashtags.
Yeah, also include my hashtags, which are healing vibrations. Healing is not linear.
Yeah, or later down the line.
Take them out of the thing.
But you can edit it.
So also
Yeah,
include my hashtags.
So you would say include hashtags.
Yeah, because I haven't got those in my any of my documents, I don't think, the hashtags, because they've evolved over the last, I don't know, little while.
Okay. Do you want the assistant to draft the post into a canvas? It would essentially put the post into that canvas. If we want that behavior, we have to tell the instructions that we want it to do that.
The benefit of this is
You
easy
can
to
also
see.
go, if the assistant updates the document, you can go back to see what the change before was. For example, if in the top right there's a little like clock,
Oh, yeah.
if you click that, it will show you the changes the assistant just made. So if you scroll down, hopefully it should be, yeah.
I see.
So if you go up a little bit, you'll see that's what it was before, and then this is what it replaced it with. Usually it's a bit more like fine grain, edited a word or it changed phrasing in certain places. That way you're able to see control. Otherwise, if it just happens in the chat, you get a whole block of text. It's difficult to see it. But if you would like to do it in that way, just ask.
That's back in 4.
It's for-
In task 4, also ensure that the post is written in a canvas. Is that right?
Okay, perfect. So the final task is just gives you some time to review it and go back and forth, which is fine.
Yeah.
At least it needs to do that.
Yeah.
So overall, we've already got a work.
So the end one, do we end up with something that's easy to copy?
You can hit, there's a copy button just at the top.
Does that copy all of it there?
Yeah, the whole document that you've got. So if it drafts the post there with all the hashtags, it will be the full thing in that one place.
But won't it have all the things above it?
This will be when it's the post.
Right.
Hopefully, it'll only draft the post in the canvas. That's our intended behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, perfect. So overall, we have our workflow now. So we
Yeah.
want to continue in the assistant. Let's have a look what it says that we need to do next.
Do we go back to this side then?
You can just hit close, just close it at the top. On the
Sorry.
left-hand side, in the middle of the page.
Oh, that across.
There we go. Cool.
Right.
Task 3, rules and best practices. So these are rules like, you know,
Continue
always-
to task 3.
These are rules that follow
Oh,
each task.
no. I forget it.
Don't know where it's written. It hasn't done this correctly. So we basically want to say to it, this isn't how we write rules and best practices. Make sure you follow your instructions.
Right. This isn't how we write rules and best practices.
There we go. Yeah, so now we have much more linear rules introduced with present. So it's grounded in your language. Complete tasks sequentially. Stay true to the user's lived voice. Handle external content ethically. Use emojis. Okay, so these are the rules and best practices that it thinks are important based on trends that we've had so far. We'll have to test it to see what comes out. So the next part is actually the knowledge file. What information do we want to give it that will make it personal? If you proceed to, we don't want to proceed to task 5. Just say, are we not going to see which knowledge files we need?
Do we need to see what knowledge files we need?
Knowledge files are not mandatory. The real question to ask before creating any is what files, so not what files would make, but what assistant need to remember or repeat every time without repeating it. Okay, fine. So does it give any suggestions? Okay, language and voice guidelines, which we would give it anyway. So that's a good recommendation. Post examples. So if you've got things that you've already posted, that would be quite helpful to anchor it into like your style. Then what other suggestions is it given? Ethical use of external inspiration. That sounds a bit wishy-washy. So I would agree with the language and voice guidelines. That's a good, obviously, we're going to try and mirror the way that you speak.
Yeah.
And because you want it to be anchored into the way that you want to work with clients, if you have your framework or your program positioning, I think that's probably quite an important bit to add to it. But these are like the specific information now that you think that it should know
Yeah.
in order that it can leverage that when it's creating the posts.
Because I don't know if my framework is, I think I need to go back, I still haven't done that, to go back over it and see if anything's changed or it's still relevant. So I suppose at the moment, the brand and voice guidelines will probably be enough.
So I would tell it that the only file I have is my brand voice and language guidelines, and then just work with that.
At the moment, the only file that I want to upload is the brand voice and language guidelines.
If you have it to hand, I would just upload it and say, here it is for reference. Because what we want to be able to do is like specifically reference the name of the file that you're going to provide, and that way it won't confuse it.
Right, I've got, language and voice guide.
Yep.
So shall I actually upload it?
I would upload it. Jackie asked, I've been following along and now at task 3, rules and best practices. Was it in this section that Gina added a bit about hashtags and emojis? You can either add it directly into the instructions, 1 to 4, 1 to 5, whatever you've got. It can be in that bit where it says we're going to draft the copy and you say always include hashtags. The instructions would reference a document that maybe has some examples in it. And maybe you have like in that like a set of hashtags that you commonly use. That way it's controlled by the knowledge file rather than hard coding it into the instructions. But they just need to be referenced ultimately in the specific task that drafts that part.
At the moment, I haven't got my hashtags in the voice guide.
We want to do the examples. So like if you have somebody who could create an example file that can also have the common hashtags that you use. And by the way, with all of this, there's no right or wrong way of doing it. You can put it in the instructions, you can put it in the knowledge files, the assistant will get the information. As you get more advanced and instructions become longer, you then have to optimize for the information that's in it and which ones is added as a knowledge file, because you only have 8,000 characters. So the more detail you put, like specific context in the instructions, the less you can have of the instructions themselves, because you might have a set of examples. They take up 1,000 characters. Those 1,000 characters can live in a knowledge file. And that's where we're extending the amount of information we can give it by using knowledge files. If you only have a set of 5 hashtags, you could just put them directly in the instructions. You don't necessarily need a whole file for that. But if you run out of space in the instructions, then you may want to do that instead.
So if I haven't got an example to hand.
Even from your LinkedIn, what you could do is say to the GPT, I'd like to create an example knowledge file of my posts, and then copy paste. Just have a look at your posts on LinkedIn and just copy paste the handful of recent posts. That might work.
Oh, I've got one as a, so I'd actually copy and paste rather than link it.
Yeah, because it won't, if it's not public, which usually most LinkedIn posts, I don't think they're searchable on the web. So the AI won't be able to find it.
I found one on Facebook, reasonably long, but not long. So what's the best way of copy and pasting it off Facebook then?
What I would say is to this assistant, say, I want to create an example posts knowledge file. Below are some examples. And then you would just copy paste them into the text box and it will create a new file for you.
I'm sorry, I don't understand. So if I go into Facebook.
So all we're going to do is copy paste a bunch of posts into the chat, but preface that with the assistant and say, we want to create a new knowledge file with these examples that can be referenced.
Just get Facebook to catch up with me.
Jackie, to answer your question, those rules and best practices, again, same context, it's fine as long as you have space in the instructions. You only have 8,000 characters. It will follow the instructions like that if that's one of the rules. If you ever run out of space, you can pull that information out and have it as a separate document that can be referenced when drafting the piece of content in that task.
So on this one, sorry, what do I need to say at the post?
I have some examples that I'd like to use in a knowledge file.
I have some examples of posts that I'd like to use in a knowledge file along with my usual hashtags.
Yeah, and then I would just paste anything that you want underneath it. That's right. Yeah, it's now asking you for the inputs. So you can just put it back in the chat It's even asking for your usual hashtags as well. I would just paste everything that you want in there.
There's one. No. Will one be enough?
They don't have to be that recent. Just find your last 5.
This just goes to show that I'm not posting as much as I possibly should. You press the shift key and return end dashes.
Yeah, you see where just at the bottom of that chat window it says a year that's asked me an acceptance. Then there's like a dash, and then often at the same time, and then another dash.
I usually take them out and put a short one in.
We might want to edit that afterwards.
Yeah, oh yeah, that one. Okay, cool.
If that's enough examples you've got, I would just hit send, and it will put it together into a knowledge file for you.
All right, I guess that's 3.
So the hope is the assistant now will create a new canvas. There we go. Example post and hashtags knowledge file, and pull all of that information together. Purpose, calibrate the assistant to use lib voice, emotional range, pacing, on brand use. Cool. How to use this knowledge file. Keep scrolling.
It's got stuck. It's still going, isn't it?
Yeah, although it could have. If you press that little arrow, does it go anywhere, or is it?
No, I've got a thing that's pop-up page and responsive.
Exit.
Oh.
It stops sharing, by the way.
Yeah.
When it resets the page, it like cancels the share. So if you have a look, it's got all of your posts in there. I can put it in the chat as well.
Yeah. So what are they called? EM dashes.
EM dashes. We want to replace them with EN dashes. It's literally just the equivalent of a grammatical pause.
What does EM stand for then?
That dash. I don't know what the.
Oh, I don't know what it is.
Yeah. So yeah, like visually not striking, they stand out so much otherwise.
Yeah.
Okay, so we actually want to download this file. At this point, the renaming steps are purely mechanical. Confirm both files are correct. Add final references already done. Okay. Scroll up a little bit beyond the last post. So the last message that you send, there was a bunch of stuff that it had said that it wanted to do before we said remove M dashes. It says next step, small but important. To complete this properly, the final thing we need to do, reference the new knowledge file in the main instruction set. Okay, so I would actually copy where it says, please confirm, yes, add this. Just say like where it says add this example to the knowledge file, I would copy that bit and then paste that in the message. And then also say to it, can you export this knowledge file as a TXT, so like a text file?
Yeah.
So hopefully it will give us an export, and then it's updating the wrong knowledge file anyway. But it's going to make the instructions now.
It's got on there, failed to edit example.
We want to update the instruction set. It tried to do it and then it couldn't. Okay. Scroll down, there might be something else. It's trying to export it, and then it will probably tell you that it failed to edit. I'll show you how to get past that. Yeah, it can be temperamental sometimes still. Okay, hopefully it gave you the link. If you scroll down a little bit, it should have the link to it. I would scroll up. There should be a file somewhere in its response. It's said quite a lot to us. If you click that link, this will be the knowledge file that you need that will eventually upload when we build GPT. So yeah, if you open it up.
Oh, so if I change my share, as you can see it, can't you?
Yeah, if you
share.
Oh, perfect. Okay, how to use this file, example 1. And so as long as it's got all the examples, and then at the bottom, we've got our hashtags and the guide for using hashtags at the bottom. Yeah, okay. Cool. All right, perfect. So you can probably close this bit now. We're going to
file and save it.
In your downloads.
So this is how I can find it if I save it in my
documents.
Assistant notes.
There we go. So then what we want to do is it was struggling to update the actual instruction set, and it's because it just can't find it as the last one that it used. So the way to get around that is in the top right, you've got that same paper icon, and there should be 2 files in this now. If you click that, it should give you a list of 2, and it will be the bottom one. In the chat on the left, I would just say, here is the instruction set. We added knowledge files. There should be 2 language and voice guide. All right. The other thing that I'd want to double check is, as I referenced earlier in the session, that in, I believe it was task 4, where it draft the post, we want to make sure that it's actually referencing your stuff. In this one, where it says draft the post, I don't see any reference here to any knowledge file. So what we want to do is we want to say, thank you for adding the knowledge files, but we also need to make sure that they are referenced where appropriate in the tasks themselves. That's the final part of the jigsaw puzzle.
Thank you for including the knowledge files, but we also need to make sure that they're referenced in the relevant tasks throughout the right.
And the only place that it really needs it is probably task 4, maybe task 5 when it's doing a refinement, but it should go through and reference them. Because this step is the difference of they're there, but it's not specifically saying, okay, so now at each point it's saying, actually, I want to reference this document. Okay, so when you read in your story, okay, so being guided by language and voice guide, use short paragraphs calibrated against the example post. Cool, perfect. I like that. Very well done, Gina.
Thank you. I just got to test it.
Yeah, exactly. So now, hopefully on the left, the last step that it gives is some kind of final validation. I would let it run through that just in case there's anything that we haven't spotted as we've gone through it manually. I would close this document now and tell it to continue. What it should do after that is give you the name, the description, all that kind of stuff that you need to actually build this system. So for now, continue. It'll just do a final check of the format, structure review, common structure, clear instructions, sequential tasks, rules and best practices, knowledge files, nothing missing, all the formatting is correct. Okay, let's keep going.
Okay.
Summary. I would just say, like, it's fine. Why is it? It will try and export them, which you can keep if you, and so it saves you having to go back and look for the chat. But yeah, I would say yes.
Yes.
Might give you another file of the instructions, whether you copy it from the file that it gives you or directly from the canvas, it should be the same anyway. If I do remember correctly, there should be another task after this that gives you the name and description nicely formatted. But if not, we can ask for it. You know how to go and create an assistant, Gino? You've trodden that path a few times now, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, it's gone now. What's happened to it? What's happened to my chat?
Here's the instruction set. So you can click to download that. Remaining step is task profile configuration. I would just say yes, continue. It should give you the last bits that you need to copy paste.
Yes, please continue.
Are you comfortable then to finish this?
No.
Oh, you're all the way at the end.
I know, but that is, well, let's see if I can.
So like suggested name, in the moment, healing post companion. And then the suggestion, gentle writing companion, it helps transform moments of inspiration into authentic RAM posts. Fine. So we basically have the name, the description, we've got the instructions, and we've got our knowledge files. So
Right.
if you then click, maybe do this in a new tab, so you can leave this one here, easier, and just type in ChatGPT again.
Right, so let me see if
I wanted to ask you both, do you find sessions like this helpful? Like having a session every other week where you guys are able to build like more hands-on yourself and then have it guided? Do you feel that this is of value to you? Because obviously like we're quite new with experimenting with this as part of the community. And I just want to make sure that if you would find other things more useful than doing this, I'm happy to like do whatever it is that you guys want. I just want to make sure I'm giving value basically.
Yeah, what I found today is this has been really interesting following along. So I started at the same time and thought, even though my knowledge file isn't 100% yet, I'm going to follow along. They know what's going to be the example one that's going to be used in that session, because then they've got that idea of, actually, I really want to make time for this and do this live and follow along. So there's that element beforehand, because yes, I think it is. But if somebody's going to have scheduled in that time to take it out, is it worth knowing that it's going to be a benefit?
Okay, for both sessions, the ones where you guys are leading it and the one where I'm leading it, I'll put posts in the community. Essentially what I would need people to do is to write, like in the one that where you're leading it, what do you want to build for yourself? In the other one, there could be things that you would like to see me build. If we start to build up requests in each of those, I can decide beforehand like what it is that we're going to do, and then I can put that post out and people then know in advance what they're going to do. So we'll try that, see if that works.
That would be really cool. I also wonder from your perspective that you could put this out to social media as, oh, really excited. The group of people in the AI Wizard Circle today, we're going to be making, or in the next few days, we're going to be building whatever else. And it's a build along with you, or I'm going to be showing you. And I wonder if there's a social media, you might be doing it and I might have missed it.
Yeah, no, I haven't.
But there's a social media element there, because then it's for people, what are they missing out on? they want to be part of this. It's, oh my goodness, somebody's doing this. I want to be part of that. So I just wonder whether it might be helpful for you as well, that it's something that's talked about in your link and stuff.
Yeah, definitely, because then we can add to it and comment on it.
But it might also be that after the session, you can say to us, okay, Jaki, you built that one, or Gina, you built that one. Do you want to go and put a little thing in there and go, oh, this is what I've done? And then you're saying about your business as well, Gina.
We're supporting each other.
More people to join. We won't have the time to do the things that we want to do. Not that I'm being selfish at all.
Yeah, cool.
If she started to see what you're doing, she's more likely to not just listen to what I've said, but go, oh, I'm missing out on this.
Yeah, I do need to give more visibility on the knowledge and what we're doing and how we're doing it for people to understand. It's not super complicated. I can do this. Understanding where it fits, right? It's a bit abstract for everyone who's not in here. And maybe even for the people that are in here, you guys are doing really well. Like, we did a whole session today. Gina, you are very close to finishing that assistant.
Yeah, I know.
I'll help you. It's all right. But yeah, we can finish building that. That's something that you needed, that you're like, you know what, I've noticed that I could use this and it would help. That's perfect. You have the skills to, within the hour, go, I'm just going to build it, which is amazing, right?
Yeah, it is amazing. One of the best ones that I did with you as well was the commenter. I don't use it as much as I could, but when I do decide to comment on something, it means that I comment with a bit more thought than I would do if I'm just left alone to.
Yeah, the challenge is that all of these things are like little macro systems and workflows, and it's like trying to identify them, pick out which ones are actually helpful, and then build the habit of actually using those assistants when you do that thing. I'm not in the habit of commenting anymore. Like, I've got an assistant, but like, it's sitting there just collecting dust.
Yeah.
Because I just haven't been doing it. But when I do come to do it, then it's faster. You can have all the tools at your disposal, but it's about building in those mechanisms into your day-to-day, which is why I always say build things that you're doing. So like the stuff you're actively doing, what could you use AI to help you do that? Then you go, let me build a workflow that helps me accomplish this task. And if it means you've got to do that task again and again, then great, now you've got an assistant.
That's
all right.
Good.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'll leave it and I'll tap back in tomorrow. You're on tomorrow anyway, aren't you?
I have office hours, so you can always close that off if you need to.
Cool. That's
amazing.
Brilliant.
I appreciate you both. Thanks for coming along today.